I mean, a lot of pastors who feel very overwhelmed by how much they have to do every week, and they feel a lot of resentment towards other people for not stepping up and taking things off their plate. Because you're in this situation, it causes a lid of growth to the church. The church can't grow because you're so busy doing so many things that the church cannot increase its capacity for growth. I remember talking to one pastor a number of years ago who was a wonderful preacher. The worship services were great, but he couldn't grow the church past 150 people. So he asked me out to lunch, and I laid before him the 18 church system matrix, which you can download from my website. And I challenged him to circle every system on there that he or his wife led. And circle after circle later, I began to realize that he was leading 9, 10 of the systems, and that he was overwhelmed. And no wonder the church couldn't grow, because he was not doing his main ministry. He was doing everybody else's ministry. How do you change this? You can't fix this overnight, because it didn't grow up overnight. You kind of moved into this kind of a mode, into this kind of a mindset, and you've got to change how you think about these things. The first thing you have to do is sit down and, with this matrix, figure out which systems you should be running. Now, I'm going to challenge you that there are two critical systems that only you can lead. The first one is vision strategy. You should be leading the vision strategy system, because this is where the church is going. And God has put this in your heart to lead the church to accomplish its mission. And so you need to be leading that one. The second one is leadership training, that you need to be invested in raising up more leaders and sharing with them the DNA of the Spirit that you have, so that they can lead with you in the same direction. And this really comes into play as you look at the systems that you need to let go, like the evangelism or discipling or the gathering or the connection system. You need to let those go in the hands of someone else. So as you begin to move forward, you see, you need to choose an apprentice to lead each of these other systems. You know, notice I said apprentice, because you're not going to turn it over to them overnight. You're going to need to mentor them into leading. Now, as you look at this, you might say, well, I don't have the leaders. I don't even have the apprentices for doing this. Well, then look at your next generation. Are there college students or even high school students who could lead these systems? They're the next generation of the church. Don't assume that they don't have giftedness from God to be able to lead, but recruit among them. I told this to one pastor, and he said, I never thought about that before. He was looking for people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and wasn't looking at the very youngest of his leaders as potentials. Don't count them out. But if you do choose them, mentor them. Give them direction until they grow up to the point where they're able to lead. Then as you let go of these system leadership, then don't add more to your plate. If somebody comes to you and says, here's a new ministry we really need to be doing, Pastor, don't volunteer to start it until you have found a leader who is able to be leading that system without you being involved. This is how you reduce your responsibilities and at the same time raise up more leaders and increase the capacity for your church to make and retain more disciples.